So let's move on. First of all, hello everyone. I would like to welcome you to our second webinar dedicated to our business partners across Europe and Middle East. Thank you for joining us. I see some familiar names on the list and quite a few new ones. So before we start, I want to say that the webinar is made out of 4 parts. So a quick overview of the market, overview of the devices to give you an idea of what we do with our partners, and a brief why choose Queclink as a partner section. In the end, of course, we have the Q&A. Also, I would like to mention that last time we spoke about cold chain solutions. So if anyone would like to get some materials from that previous webinar, do not hesitate to leave us a message in the Q&A section, and we will send it to you after this webinar. Please note that you can ask questions also, so feel free to write those in the Q&A section as well, and our team will answer them. So to present you today's team, my name is Ivan Jerkovic. I'm an international sales manager. I'm in this industry for some 8 years and 1 year in Queclink now. So nice to see you all here. Besides me, we have my colleagues Abrar and Manuel. So I would like to invite Abrar to say hello to our guests.
Thank you so much, Ivan. Hello, everyone. This is Abrar Parker, International Sales Manager for Middle East and India, being based in Dubai. So I would like to welcome you all on behalf of the entire Queclink family, and I hope you will enjoy the show. So yeah, welcome again.
Manuel, please.
Hello, guys. This is Manuel Mendoza. I'm also International Sales Manager at Queclink. I'm based in Lithuania and working mainly with the European partners. So yeah, thank you very much for joining, and we hope you enjoy.
Thank you, guys. Just to mention, if you have any questions about our portfolio or anything from this webinar, you can contact Manuel, Abrar, and me via email after the webinar. So I would like to ask my colleagues to share our contacts in the Q&A section. So moving on to the webinar itself, let me first give you a short background of the fleet telematic markets at the moment. So we can say that despite its asymmetries, it shows a good sign of recovery. And as this industry relies on overall optimization, it is somewhat expected that even during economic disturbances, it can recover, since cost effectiveness really becomes the #1 topic during these times. So it is not a surprise that we see a continuous trend of market growth in the following years. This trend is also pushed by a high growth rate for the adoption of cloud computing and analytics. We also see declining hardware and IoT connectivity costs and the growing need for operational efficiency. Also, the compliance with government regulations. We can also see here that the various fleet organizations are undertaking green initiatives to reduce environmental impact and thus increase the overall fleet efficiency. So it is somewhat obvious that there are significant growth opportunities in the fleet management sector for vendors and providers. Also, we should mention the scalability offered by cloud-based fleet solutions and the trend towards sharing vehicles instead of owning them. And that is really helping the market expansion. Moving on to the main benefits, we should mention that as vendors operating in the market are now focusing on the total cost of mobility instead of the total cost of ownership, We can see an additional effort in boosting productivity, streamlining routes, and giving customers complete clarity over their fleet's activity and condition. So businesses are now looking to work, operate, and manage even smarter than before the pandemic. Such developments are expected to increase the return on investment for customers, thus should in return also increase the demand for fleet management. We can all notice the increasing costs, operational costs in the last couple of years, and therefore the need to reduce expenditure on fuel and maintenance. And these are the primary concerns which are driving the transportation companies to adopt some advanced methodologies. So here we should also mention that the transportation sector accounted for more than 25% of the fleet management market revenue share in 2020. I would like to point out that those are not just random numbers that we are showing, namely our new and existing customers showed an increasing interest in devices like the GV300 series and the GV56, which are intended for this industry. Questions that we now hear frequently also are connected to large-scale deployments, and here we can say that accessories also play a major role, since they have a niche penetrating ability, and they enable the overall sales of fleet management solutions. As a matter of fact, one of the biggest deployments we did was in the fleet management sector, and was done with the GV300 model connected to a third-party accessory. Besides that, we also see an increasing concern over vehicle on-road safety. So there's definitely something more valuable than vehicles, and those are the safety and well-being of drivers. Namely, the driver management segment held around 25% of the fleet management market revenue share also. And it is led by the ever-increasing emphasis on improving driving behavior to reduce road accidents and fatalities. Here, fleet management systems also allow the profiling of drivers, so the companies can introduce specific trainings for them. And all this prevents potential violations and accidents caused by the fleet drivers. Hence, the adoption of driver management solutions will continue to grow significantly over the years. In this part, we can also mention the introduction of dashboard video cameras, which are mostly deployed in trucks and light commercial vehicles for insurance reasons, but now also for driver behavior analysis. And having that in mind, I would suggest everyone to take a look at our new video telematics device, CV100LG. You can also ask for some additional info on this after the webinar. So we covered the basic benefits that we find in fleet management system solutions. And here I would like to invite you to share your thoughts in the Q&A section about this, so we can maybe discuss them later on in the webinar. Moving on to some of the common application scenarios. Of course, we have here only some of them, but when it comes to our experience, for example, high maintenance vehicles such as construction, utilities, and agricultural machinery, they have the fastest return on investment. Savings can be huge depending on the previous way of managing these kinds of fleets, since you have an option of getting really rich data from the trackers and additional sensors. On the other hand, scenarios like we see corporate fleets, rental and leasing, and courier services, they heavily rely on driver behavior and stolen vehicle recovery solutions. Also, when it comes to private passenger cars, we should mention usage-based insurance solutions or pay as you drive. Trailers, on the other hand, are a very specific niche, at least for us, since we have a dedicated device for them. One of our best sellers, the dual-powered GV600. And I believe Manuel will tell you a bit more about this device later on in the webinar. But as you know, you have various types of trailers, hard shells, soft shell, reefers, and so on, and all of them with specific data to be monitored. And of course, not to mention TAPA standards for high value goods. Also here we have now popular bicycle and scooter sharing solutions, which usually require some device customization. But on the other hand, we have motorcycle and even boat races, which are becoming a thing now. So the need for waterproof devices is also increasing. And finally, trucks. They generate a constant demand for the development of new technologies. So from onboard data to tachographs to fuel monitoring, trailer ID, now weight sensors and so on. This industry is really pushing us manufacturers to work even harder to expand the possibilities of our devices. So these are just some of the common application scenarios. You of course know we can find other ones. There is also usage-based insurance and so on. So moving on to the next slide. When it comes to Queclink, yes, we have quite a large portfolio of devices for all of these scenarios, but actually this is not what makes us different. As we are a bit more customer-centric than industry-centric. During the years, we acquired a lot of experience in certain niches. So therefore, you will see some specific devices for different scenarios. For example, you will get to see the GV600 series for trailers. Manuel will talk more about this device. Also, you have GB100MG for UBI, and this device is developed with some of the largest insurance telematics companies on the market. And on the other hand, the GL501MG, which is basically an asset tracker with the wireless charging, but it has an option of easy installation and removal. So it also makes it suitable for fleet management solutions. Also, I would like to mention that all of them are with BLE. So this opens a door to gathering really rich data from the devices and the vehicles themselves. So this will give you at least a rough idea on what we do across various industries. Also, being a customer-centric company, we have to mention our R&D team, which is always eager to take on a new challenge with some custom project. So for the companies that want to bring the benefits that we mentioned before to another level, we develop custom solutions. So this can be achieved by making some software or hardware modifications to the devices in our existing portfolio. And on the other hand, we can easily go even further and manufacture customized devices from scratch, very specific to almost every project. So this brings us to a point where we need to start talking about devices themselves and the main topic of today's webinar. So I'm giving the podium to Manuel, who will give you an overview of the devices we selected for you today. Please note that our portfolio is wider than this, but we selected something that will be interesting for you today and for this segment. So Manuel, the podium is yours.
Thank you very much, Ivan, and thanks again to everyone for joining. So yeah, as Ivan mentioned, we have right now something about 70 plus devices for different applications. So we selected or shortlisted the main ones dedicated for the fleet management or meant primarily for the fleet management. So please, we can move forward with the presentation. And here I'll show you the main products for this segment. First, we're seeing here on this graph the main features or applications for the fleet management devices. Of course, you already know we have the GNSS module in the devices connecting to different constellations, and traditionally the cellular module. As you know, the market is evolving, the connectivity is evolving. So we have devices for 2G, 3G, now global LTE devices, and even now we're entering also on the LP1 technology. So we have devices for the Sigfox or LoRa network. So also we're changing in this way. We're also evolving together with the market, and we have multiple devices with different connectivity and technologies. So here, what we want to show mainly is all the features that you can cover with our products, from the basic fleet management part also to the advanced one. So you have an idea of or a glimpse of what you can do with our products. From the basic fleet management part, this is functionalities that you can cover pretty much with any of our products. And of course, we have some basic features like the location, the geofencing, the ignition detection, idling detection, driving behavior in all of our devices, crash detection, which is an area where we have a lot of expertise because of working with insurance related projects, and of course some other alarms like towing, overspeeding, and others. Then for the more advanced part, we're adding some other functionalities like two-way voice communication for having calls with the drivers, driver identification on various ways, with wired or wireless accessories, and of course like fuel monitoring, weight monitoring, like door state sensing, and generating alarms with panic buttons, or having systems like TPMS for the tire pressure, or any other accessories or things you need to monitor remotely. We're adding a separate category for the CAN-bus reading, because this is also something where we have worked a lot, and we have the alternative of devices that have the built-in CAN-bus or OBD data reading, and also we have the option of adding an external adapter to have the reading with a lot of our devices, even the basic ones. So of course, from CAN-bus or OBD, we can get important information directly from the vehicle ECU, like the ignition detection, the mileage, the fuel consumption, or some parameters related to the engine, like the temperature, the engine speed, the engine time, the vehicle speed, the mileage, or also the diagnostic trouble codes for preventing damages in the vehicles, and that we can monitor the maintenance of the fleet and avoid like really some big expenses that the fleet owners face because of this. So now please, we can move forward and we will see now our main products for the fleet management applications. And for the basic tracking part, we're listing these devices, but as I mentioned, like most of our products are not really that basic. So we add capabilities and flexibility, so it can be used also for some advanced applications, even if we're speaking of our lower range. So the first device is the GB56. This is a 2G device, which is probably our most cost-effective series, supporting all fleet management features, but still is a device that already has interfaces, meaning inputs, outputs, or even one wire for supporting some accessories and peripherals. And we are also adding the BLE, one for supporting the two-way voice communication, so you can have calls with a Bluetooth headset, and also the BLE 4.0 for wireless accessories, like beacons, key fobs, or temperature sensors, just to name a few. This device also, for example, now we were using for the e-toll project in Poland. This is an electronic tolling system, like the ones that have been deployed in recent years across Europe. So this type of solutions are also becoming very popular because are promoted by the European Union. So this is also becoming a trend. Then if we're speaking of a global LTE device, we have the GB53MG, which is a device supporting the Cat-M1 and NB-IoT networks with a 2G fallback. And also it has some basic inputs, outputs, so it's ideal for light duty applications, and it has the BLE for the wireless accessories. Then there's kind of an upgraded version of this device, which also it's IP67 waterproof. So then it becomes more flexible in terms of the types of vehicles where we can install the device. So it's also suitable for motorcycles, for watercrafts, heavy machinery that is working on some harsh conditions. So then it becomes more versatile than the regular GP53 series. So these three are the main basic tracking devices we want to show you. And then for the advanced part, we have mainly the GB300 series. The GB300 series, as Ivan mentioned, it's one of our best sellers. The GB300 series is already on the market for around 10 years. So the standard GB300 device we have sold already about 2.5 million units, and we have released multiple variants depending on the regions, the connectivity that it's required. So, but everything based on that original GB300 device, which is so far one of our most successful ones. So here we're seeing one of our main products that we launched for the European market. So the GB300 CAN device, it's a version of the GB300 series with a built-in CAN-bus reading. So it supports CAN-bus reading for all types of vehicles. First for the trucks, then also some specialized machinery like tractors, agricultural machinery, construction machinery, forklifts, and others, and also for the light vehicles, for the cars and vans. So with this device, you can cover the CAN-bus reading pretty much for any type of vehicle. And together with an accessory, with an external adapter, we can also support the remote tachograph download for Europe. And this device, as all the GB300 series, has multiple interfaces, including one wire and an RS-232 port. So it's very flexible in terms of the accessories and peripherals, and because of that, the type of solutions that we can give to the clients with this device. There's an LTE version of the GB300 series, which is the GB350MG. This device, for example, now that we're also speaking about the Middle East, this is one of the best sellers in the Middle East because the region only accepts already LTE products. So this device, it's global LTE with a 2G fallback, and it has the direct CAN-bus reading, but mainly for the trucks. So this one supports the J1939 protocol. This also because it's also used in the US, where pretty much all the vehicles have this protocol. And then also the interfaces, including the one wire and the Bluetooth for the wireless accessories, plus other interfaces like the serial port. Then we have another device which is going to be released next year. And this one is going to be probably the most advanced one from the GB300 series so far. And this is an LTE Cat1 device with a 2G fallback. And differently than the GB300 CAN, it will support already the tachograph download directly together with the CAN-bus reading simultaneously with Bluetooth 5.2, and of course all the interfaces that we know on the GB300 series, but increasing. So we will have more inputs, outputs. So it will be very suitable, one for the trucks, but also for segments like light vehicles, for example, car sharing that usually requires several inputs and outputs to control some things within the vehicle. So we're thinking on a lot of segments with this product. So we're very much looking forward to release it because we know it's going to be very, very well accepted. And then we have the GB600 series that Ivan mentioned a couple of times. So this is one of our most specialized devices because it's meant fully for trailers and other similar vehicles like flatbed trucks or tankers. And we created this product because we got the feedback from the market that there were not very good dedicated trailer trackers in the market. And that's why we released this product. We already had good experience manufacturing the asset trackers, the battery powered devices. So we made a mix between a hardwired telematics unit and a battery powered asset tracker. So this device works like that. It's intended to work with the truck power supply when the trailer is connected. And then, as you know, sometimes the trailers are disconnected and sitting on a yard for weeks or even months. So when that happens and the trailer is disconnected, then the device can work with a backup battery and provide up to, for example, 100 days only with the internal battery. This is, for example, reporting once per day. But of course, this is configurable depending on the needs. The market has loved this device and it's becoming one of our best sellers. Plus, apart from that functionality of the flexible power source, it also has the multiple interfaces, also including a serial port, the one wire inputs, outputs, plus BLE for wireless accessories. So even for the trailers, we can add accessories like the fuel sensors or the temperature sensors for cold chain solutions. So yeah, this very dedicated device for a specific niche. So yeah, you don't need to improvise a solution like we have seen many times, like an IP67 device, and the companies had an external battery because it's on a trailer. So we're already fixing that with this product, and we have a lot of flexibility because of the BLE. So I recommend having a look at this device because all the companies that are testing it like it very much. And then we're seeing a separate category on the next slide, which is our easy to install devices. These devices are suitable for large deployments or for cases when we need to have devices with very little installation to reduce the installation costs, or because we need to deploy a big quantity and there's not much time to do it. So we have devices like OBD dongles, like our JBA 500 series. Here we're seeing the MGP version, which is a global LTE device with a 2G fallback that supports the OBD2 data reading, and has BLE 4.2 also for the wireless accessories. So of course, for cars and vans, this is the ideal device. We also now released a new OBD device, similar in functionality to this one, but also that supports the Wi-Fi hotspot sharing. So if this is interesting for you, we also have something. Then we're seeing the GL501MG, which technically this is another category of our devices, which is the GL series of battery-powered asset trackers. But we're including it here because it has some peculiarities that make it suitable for the fleet management. This device, it's global LTE with the 2G fallback. It's rechargeable with a wireless charging and IP67, and it has built-in sensors. It has two light sensors that can be used for tampering alert or for detecting, for example, the doors of a trailer being open. And it also has the built-in temperature sensor. So it's also suitable for monitoring the ambient temperature within a trailer, for example. And it has the Bluetooth. So we can add additional accessories in case we need, for example, to monitor very precisely the temperature within some like packages or products that required, for example, a cold chain solution. So then this asset tracker is very flexible in that way. So it becomes suitable for fleet management also. And then finally, we're seeing the GB100 series. In this case, this is the LTE device, the LTE version of the GB100 series, which originally was developed and designed together with insurance telematics company, with some very big players within that segment. And of course, for this type of segments, since involve big volumes, the installation should be very easy. In some cases, performed even by the end user. So it has only 2 wires to be connected directly to the battery. So this is a battery mounted device. And it has very advanced driver behavior monitoring, and also accident detection. It has an internal 6-axis accelerometer and very advanced algorithms that we developed together with the insurance related companies. So on that way, even if it's not evident on the hardware side, there's a very big work and advanced algorithm development within this product. And then we also have the BLE 4.2, so we can also have accessories like the BLE key fobs for driver identification, or as a wireless panic button, or even in some cases for adding temperature sensors if we install it on a vehicle that will transport some cold chain solutions. So of course, even if it was designed originally for the insurance market, the ease of installation made it attractive for the fleet management companies. So then these devices were very well adopted by the more traditional fleet management sector. So of course, like we say, why not? This is very suitable also. And even, for example, now we're showing here also the eToll application, which is the project in Poland for the electronic tolling solution. And this is because of the easy installation. The companies needed to deploy big quantities within a period of a couple of months. So what they need is devices that are easy to install. So in this case, this series, it's very suitable for this type of applications. And yeah, this the main devices we have that we call the easy to install category. So yeah, if you have not seen these products from our portfolio, you should also keep an eye on it.
Manuel, sorry to interrupt you at this point, but you were mentioning eToll devices, and we have an interesting question from Mr. Clive Taylor. And he is asking to expand a little bit on how GV56 provides support to eToll. So we know you're our eToll go-to-get guy, and you even visited Poland, and you're quite familiar with that project there. So can you share a little bit how does the GV56 provide support for eToll, and what is the status of maybe some certificates or partners that are already using it?
Sure. So for example, in this case, this eToll project that you're seeing, as I mentioned, is specifically for Poland, but there are other electronic tolling projects across Europe. Yeah, as I mentioned before, this type of regulations are promoted by the European Union. So most countries, I mean, sooner or later will adopt something like this to make the toll fees collection automatically. So everything is digital. So what is done in this case is that based on the GNSS location, based on the geolocation of the vehicles, together with the software developed by the government, the fees are paid automatically by identifying that the vehicles are driving in certain roads where they should be charged. So for now, for example, usually it starts with the heavy vehicles and then transferred to the light ones, and mainly the requirements are more, I wouldn't say are particularly special, apart from that the devices need to be very, very precise on the way they transmit the data. Because of course, like to identify that the vehicle is going on a toll road, it needs to gather data, for example, every 5 seconds, and send the information or the packages every minute, for example, because you need to draw very precisely on the map where the truck it's driving. So then the charges or the fees are made correctly. So in this way, I mean, our devices, of course, comply with all of these requirements. Pretty much all of our devices can cover that, but of course, the GV56 or the GV100MG, since are more on the lower price side, are more suitable for big scale deployments, and also because of the easy installation. So that's why companies lean forward towards this type of devices. But of course, we have some partners in Poland using also the GV300 or the GV300 CAN. So even in the existing devices already in the roads, with one configuration change, they can already comply with the requirements. In this particular case, every company in Poland should certify the devices that they will use, because of course also their software was involved to show they can comply with the government requirements. So hardware was a part of it, but of course we did our job, our side, to adjust exactly to the ETO requirement, and every company registered and certified the devices with the local authorities. So we're expecting more countries will jump into this electronic tolling solutions, but it's everything on the same line based on the geolocation.
So I see from one of our colleagues' answers is that we basically just adapted the firmware of the device to support it all.
In some cases, yeah, we needed to update the firmware, but it's mainly with some features that we have already done in other devices.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the answer.
Sure.
We can move on.
So on the next slide, we're seeing the main accessories. Of course, this is just a sample of the accessories or peripherals that you can use. Starting with the CAN-bus reading, if we're not using something like the GB300 CAN or the GB350MG that has a direct CAN-bus reading, we have an accessory called the CAN100, which is a CAN-bus data reader that we can install externally together with other devices from our portfolio. And we have a wired version and also a BLE version that sends the data wirelessly to the tracker. And we have the Queclink, which maybe you know this type of accessories that are meant for like two purposes. So one is to make the installation easier, and then also not to manipulate the wires of the vehicle, not to cut them. This also helps a lot of times because there are cases where if you cut the wires, then you avoid the warranty of the vehicle. So then this accessory makes installation easier, and it makes sure that you don't need to cut the wires from the vehicle side. Then, for example, for driver identification, we have a few accessories like our new WKF300, which is a BLE key fob that the driver has with him, and then it can be used as wireless driver ID, and it also has a button, so it can be used as a wireless panic button. And then, of course, the more traditional RFID readers with a card, or the I buttons or the Dallas keys, also for the driver ID, that these are one wire, of course. Then we know that for some very complex projects, sometimes the inputs or outputs from the device are not enough. So that's why we design and we manufactured I/O expanders. So we have also two versions, a wired version and a BLE version that can connect to our products. And these accessories give you additional inputs and outputs in case you need more than the interfaces that the device directly provides. Then we have also our own BLE temperature and humidity sensor, the WTH300. And apart from this one, of course, we also support some other popular BLE temperature sensors in the market, plus the standard one-wire temperature sensors that you probably know. Then we have, of course, a wide range of fuel sensors. The one you're seeing here, it's our own ultrasonic fuel sensor, but of course, we support all the main fuel sensors that you will find in the market or that you currently use. So, for example, very popular and good brands like Escort or Omnicom, Tecnoton, RCS are all supported, both the same as in the other cases, wired sensors, or even, for example, there are some very interesting BLE fuel sensors, for example, from Escort. So these also work on a very stable way with our devices. So it's also something to have in mind if fuel is within your range of services. And then some other systems like TPMS systems for the tire pressure monitoring, There's also VLE versions, or for example, the very popular Continental TPMS system that we have integrated because of the requests of some of our partners. And then, as we mentioned, also the tachograph reader for the remote download. So this a new accessory that we also have. So as you see, like this is a range of the main accessories that our partners use. But of course, if you have some other accessories, please feel free to ask, and it's highly probable that we already have some integration. And if not, we can always evaluate and probably integrate quite fast. This is not a problem. We're very used to integrate new accessories. So of course, especially now, for example, with the BLE products and the technology becoming more stable, usually companies approach us and ask us to integrate some new accessories, and we're totally fine, and we can do that. Okay, we can move forward. So here I'm going to share very briefly one successful case we have. So this is fleet management, but we try to search for a project that is not the most traditional fleet management for the trucks, for example. As you know, the transport sector, it's probably the one with the biggest penetration so far. So a big proportion of the trucks already have fleet management services or telematics devices installed. So in this case, for example, the fleet owner is one of the largest manufacturers of steel structures and cranes, and so our partner installed the Queclink devices on this fleet. And the issue this company was having, like on a particular location, they had between 500 and 600 mechanical vehicles, between forklifts, tractors, ladder trucks, and this type of industrial vehicles. So every day, each vehicle would take between 10 and 20 tasks on average, and all of this was done manually by a person. So this would take, each task would take from 10 minutes to a couple of hours to be completed. And of course, scheduling all these things manually was making that the base was plagued with problems. Of course, like the main ones being the low efficiency for the vehicle scheduling. So after a request of a vehicle to be used was received, the back office staff would call the driver, search for the vehicle, confirm the position of a specific machinery or vehicle. And once they would find it, they would send the request to the driver and allocate the task. So of course, this is very inefficient. And then there was the difficulty on monitoring. So on this particular location, the base would cover an area of around 3 million square meters. So just for you to have an idea, this is the size of 400 football fields. So it was impossible to keep a track where each exact vehicle was and if it was available or not. So of course, I'm not even mentioning some other parameters like the driver behavior, like the working hours of the machinery or the vehicles. So it was very complicated to monitor everything without an automatized system. And of course, the difficulty in collecting the data and the information. So the scattered data and information at all levels, it was not only hard to collect, but it's also, as you know, it's difficult to deliver on time. So the back office not having this information was making all the operation very complicated. And then the solution from our partner was to offer the GB300 series. So we can move to the next slide. And then, yeah, as I said, this is the regular GB300 device, and the solution was to install it and offer a series of solutions. So the main features that help this fleet owner to solve their problems was, of course, like first having a very accurate and precision GNSS positioning to know exactly where the vehicles are and the machinery is. then some specially designed power supply circuit. Of course, the device can be used in vehicles for 12 volts or 24 volts, and some special design accessory for overvoltage protection, because these vehicles were working on a very complex power ambience, and of course they're mostly industrial vehicles and machinery, and adding also some alarms that are comprehensive for the staff in the back office, so they will get a real-time report for them to have a quick management of normal events related to the drivers or the vehicles. For example, like having the low battery or the antenna disconnection, some vehicle collision, vehicle towing, or also the driver behavior. And of course, as we mentioned before a couple of times, the driving behavior algorithms that we have are very advanced. So of course, in this case also, because the nature and the operation these vehicles have, it was very important to detect and correct aggressive driving behaviors for the machinery and this type of vehicles. As we know, is not the same a crash like on a car than a crash on a heavy machinery or a truck. So it was very important for them to know how the vehicles are used. One, to make the operation more efficient, save fuel, but also to prevent accidents. So the outcome after some time was that their efficiency soared by 95%, and of course all the scheduling problem they had, and the time declined by 10 times. They also added some fuel solutions, so the fuel consumption declined by 15% within their fleet, and their mechanical vehicle operation costs slashed by around $1.1 million US per year. So of course, as when we think of one vehicle, maybe the saved money appears as not that much, but when we translate this into fleets of hundreds or sometimes thousands of vehicles, it becomes millionaire savings for a fleet owner. So yeah, as I mentioned, like the transport sector, it's already very well aware of the fleet management solution, but there's a lot of for example, industrial fleets like this case that are still not using anything, and still they do a lot of manual work. So still there's a lot of room to grow and offer fleet management solutions for other types of fleets rather than the traditional transport sector. And just to finalize my part, I'm not going to go in detail to all of these products, but this is just for you to see that we have more devices for fleet management. As Ivan mentioned, we recently also launched a dash cam. So we're expanding our portfolio. If you feel that still there's some application or some segment that you think we did not cover, most likely we already have a product for that. So just feel free to reach out, ask, and we'll be happy to answer your questions.
Okay, thank you, Manuel. That was excellent. We have Abrar waiting for the third part of this webinar. So please, Abrar, get ready and give us the important part of why Queclink should be your partner in the future.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Ivan and Manuel. Well, a quick intro again, as we have some new joinees, and I can see the number is being maintained since the start of the presentation. So I'm Abrar Parker, International Sales Manager for Middle East, being based in Dubai. So I hope you all are enjoying the show, as my colleagues Ivan and Manuel have provided you with deep market insights and I would say plethora of information about Queclink's unique and wide device portfolio for fleet management solutions. Now that you know our capabilities and the wide products portfolio that we have for the global market, I would like to quickly give you all an overview about our company. And let's understand like why Queclink and how Queclink can really play a role in helping you enhance your solutions portfolio to match the diverse market requirements and fetch your chunk of the growing fleet management market. Now, when we say why Queclink, I think many might know us as a typical hardware manufacturer developing GPS trackers, and definitely that is our core competency. However, those who are associated with us for quite a long time now, they really know that we are more than a GPS hardware manufacturer. We are an IoT company with over a decade of experience, numerous solutions deployed for different market niche spread across different technologies. So you have already seen that, be it vehicle trackers and asset trackers, personal trackers. Now we have recently forwarded into video telematic solutions and livestock monitoring solutions, be it 2G, 3G, or narrowband technologies like LoRa, Sigfox, etc. So we have them all, and we have always been diversifying to bring in new solutions, and hence our product line is evolving every day. Now, I would like you all to have a brief overview about the statistics that you see on the screen. Now, over the years, we at Queclink have been developing fleet management devices that meet diverse market requirements across different industries. So since our inception till date, we have deployed over 35 million devices across 140 plus countries. And the number is only growing as we are expanding our horizons in the global market. Now, moving, you can just have a quick glance on this slide, and definitely I will take you to the next slide, wherein I will definitely give you about the overview about the company. Now, when I'm talking about the extensive or comprehensive experience about of Queclink, now with the industry experience that we have achieved over a decade, now we have achieved a proven success creating value for a wide range of industries by providing integrated solutions for our clients, and I'm pretty sure that many of our clients can vouch for it. Now here, be it on-the-shelf standard devices to customization, we have been doing it over the past decade plus. Now, when I'm talking about the comprehensive experience, something to really highlight about is that after the hard hit of COVID, we all have fallen prey to the ongoing global component shortage issue, and which have definitely disrupted the industry dynamics, and a major area of concern being price hikes and the larger delivery lead times. Now, when I'm talking about the experience of Queclink, our tactically defined value chain have facilitated us with reliable components replacement sources, being in China and ensuring shorter delivery lead times for our client orders. So hence, we are delivering devices on time in comparison to many of our rivals. So that's something I wanted to mention about the comprehensive experience. The rest, about the devices, you have seen the wide product portfolio definitely. Moving on to the next part about global layout, we at Queclink, we believe that each region has its own market dynamics and it functions differently, which requires a dedicated approach. And hence our team is located over the world to always stay close to our partners, understand the market requirements and the regulations out there, and work together to accomplish business goals. Even in today's webinar, you can see we three, the speakers, me, Ivan, and Manuel, we are spread across regions, but we are united as a team, and we are helping our customers across different regions to achieve their share of the fleet management market. So yeah, currently we are serving over 3,800 plus customers from over 140 plus countries, and the reach is only expanding. And with more and more clients coming on board from different regions, we are extensively focusing on local teams, setting up more regional offices to spread our horizons to very corner of the world. So you will get to see more of Queclink's regional offices being established across the globe in the coming years. Now, wide variety of products. I think you have already seen the depth of our products portfolio. Today, it was only about the fleet management solutions, and I think Manuel and Ivan have efficiently covered the devices that we have for fleet management solutions. And yeah, 30 plus fleet management devices, and the overall number for our portfolio gets bigger and bigger. Not to forget the in-house accessories that we have, along with the third-party integrated external peripherals. Talking about the future-proof solutions, being an IoT innovator, we always make sure that we bring in new solutions and newer technologies to stay at par with the fast-changing business environment. Now, having 3 R&D centers in place, that is in China, more than I think 65% of our employees are engineers, and we continually invest in new technologies and bring classic series to life. As we all have been noticing, the network migration from 2G to 4G happening across the globe. We at Queclink have been pioneer in the 4G LTE space, and there is no denial into it. We have our 4G devices ready beforehand. We are helping our clients across the globe with this transition, and definitely I would like to mention about Middle East, as the transition is happening here in countries like Saudi Arabia, which is one of the largest nation here in the Middle East, and also about the UAE, which has already started embracing the deployment of the 4G devices. So we are actively deploying the 4G devices, and you have already seen on the screen that we have deployed over 3 million plus 4G devices in the span of, I would say, 2+ years now. And the number is only growing as many countries are embracing the 4G with the 2G shutdown in the Middle East. Just to mention that 2G will be shut down in the UAE, that is Dubai, you can say, by end of 2022. And more countries here will be shutting down 2G and embrace 4G, as 5G is already in place. Now, beyond this, we are largely investing on numerous IoT solutions comprising of LoRa, then Sigfox devices. Also, we are investing largely on the video telematic solutions. You have already seen the dashcam CB100 LG, then the routers, which is something you will get to see in the Q1 of 2022, and many other devices that will be added to our portfolio. Hence, our portfolio is getting bigger and bigger, and we are trying to provide our clients with numerous solutions in order to fetch and deploy major solutions in the market, be it fleet management or something else. So we are trying to have it covered, being an IoT innovator. Multi-model support. Yes, when we talk about advanced fleet management solution, I think Canvas solution is something that pops up to stay on the top. And we definitely have it covered. As presented by Manuel, our device portfolio comprises of built-in Canvas devices and also support external peripherals such as Canvas adapters, which can help you decode the information from the vehicle's digital buses. So I really don't want to get into this part because Manuel has nicely explained about the different Canvas supported devices. And if you really want to know about these devices, you can get in touch with us at any point of time, and we will definitely assist you. Quality control. Yeah, when it comes to quality, Queclink really don't compromise on it. Now, we strictly comply with the ISO standards like ISO 9001 and ISO 14001. And I think many of you who are familiar with these standards can really relate to the type of standard these are, and we comply with these standards. Beyond this, when I said that we have 3 R&D centers and like 65% of our employees being engineers, we proceed 33 internal quality control checks. That is our in-house checks in our in-house set of laboratories in order to make sure that the devices that we deliver to our clients are highly reliable and efficient when it comes to the deployment. Also, as we are combating the ongoing global component shortage issue, there are always these demons, I would say, or gray markets to take advantage of the situation like these. So many such companies are dumping cheap, I would say, cheap quality or fake components. But we at Queclink haven't fallen prey to all these practices, as our value chain is strong, and we make sure that our inbound logistics brings in highly reliable components that we can put in the making of high quality devices for the global market. So nothing to boast about, but yeah, with our high quality of devices, we always strive to achieve best performance and ensure that the failure rate is minimal. So yeah, that's all about Queclink. And now that you know that why Queclink, we are confident that we will receive more inquiries after this webinar, and we will have more partners from EMEA region on being onboarded in the new year, and we will be entering the new year soon. So we expect more and more partners to be on board with us, and we are always welcome to work together with you guys, be it any region. So get in touch with us, me, Manuel, or other team as well. So you can write to us on our direct email for sales related inquiries and any other matters. So we are always, you guys are welcome to get in touch with us. Yeah, so that's it from my side. I can keep talking. Being sales guy, I can talk for longer hours, but it's understood that we had asked for a limited time from you guys, and I think it was a value add for you. You have got to know more about the Queclink's fleet management solution. So thank you again for joining this webinar, and that's it from my side. So take care and stay safe. Over to you, Ivan, the host for the day.
Thank you, Abrar. Also, thank you, Manuel. I would like to invite you to stay with me for the Q&A section. We'll have some questions from our attendees. So actually, I saw while reading the questions that arrived during your presentation, I saw a question about LT and 2G fallback devices. So when we were speaking about this webinar between ourselves, we shared some insights about the market in the Middle East and Europe. And I would like you to share your experiences about this transition from 2G to LTE. And I know we have some interesting things to say about Middle East. So Abrar, can you please share your opinion and what is the status, the regulations, how are devices imported now? I believe these insights from your end could be valuable to our listeners.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you for that question. Definitely, that is a good question when it comes to the industry trends to understand, especially in the Middle East. Yeah, Middle East in terms of the technologies and the market is embracing technologies at a very fast pace. In the Middle East, Saudi Arabia was the first country to announce the 4G network to be deployed. Like they have already stopped. Like they have totally banned the import of 2G and 3G devices. So it has to be minimum 4G. And yeah, definitely, I would like to tell the audience that in Saudi Arabia, we are the first company to have our 4G device approved by the CITC, that is the telecom regulatory authority out there. So apart from that, there are many other 4G devices approved, and GV350MG was the first device, and it is already being deployed there. Besides that, when it comes to the trends happening here, more and more government intervention is in place. Like the infrastructure development is being taken care by the government, and they are mandating many new projects. In Saudi Arabia, there are two major projects that are happening. One is with the Public Transport Authority, wherein they have mandated for the weight sensor solution, and the other one that is like a subsidiary of the same ministry, that is the Public Transport Authority, that is the SFDA, Saudi Food and Drug Authority, wherein they are deploying the cold chain solutions. So we have our devices ready and already being deployed by our partners. And I can say that many of our clients who are attending today's webinar are actively deploying our GV350MG, or for that matter, devices like GV600MG, which is deployed for a big name that is Saudi Aramco. So we are doing that. So one of the transition that is happening is from 2G to 4G. Then the second, I would say, is the intervention of government and more new projects coming in. Also in the UAE, there are certain projects happening, and I think in the UAE, that is in Dubai, 2G will be shut down by end of 2022. So we are ready for the market. As I said, that we have our 4G devices ready long back, and those are mature products which are developed on top of our best-selling series like GV300. So GV350MG is again a wonderful product to work with, and GV600MG, and again the new products as well. So we have been doing that, working very closely with the partners in order to deploy this kind of solutions. So these are like specialized and advanced fleet management solutions that are being deployed in the Middle East. So yeah, I can talk continuously about Middle East, but yeah, we have like audience from across the globe.
Let me read you one comment from our guests. So I'm going to read it as it is. So even in Jordan, our TRC asked all governmental agencies that they must have 4G units, no 2G or 3G units are allowed. But the problem is all are asking for 4G with fallback to 3G and for 2G.
Yeah,
So actually,
I did.
yeah,
I
yeah,
did see that
specific
question.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have it covered, to be very honest. No doubt, our current devices, now when it comes to LTE, there are different technologies as well. Like when we talk about 4G, there are different technologies. And I think Marian, who is our technical director, can probably speak about it, about the 4G technologies. Now, many think that when it comes to 4G, it should be fall back to 3G and 2G as well. So there are different technologies which we need to really understand, and we have our devices for 4G with fallback to 2G, and also we are developing new devices, with fallback to 3G and 2G as well. So I can invite Marian or probably Taha, who can just answer about this, like about the 4G devices, and just give a brief about like the technology, like for fallback to 2G or 3G, like that. So Taha or Marian, probably you can answer this.
Guys, are you here? Can you turn on the mic?
Taha, my go-to person for the Middle East, the technical head, I would say.
Hello.
I think Taha has some issues.
I guess, but in general,
Yeah.
I think without going like too deep because of that, especially for having the 3G and 2G fallback, we're speaking of a different model. So usually the devices we
Yeah.
have with both fallbacks, instead of working with the Cat-M1 LTE category, they have the Cat-1 LTE plus the 3G and 2G fallback. So we're speaking of a different module. But this is doable. We already have some devices with this type of fallback, including all three networks. So this shouldn't be an issue, definitely.
Yeah. So
Okay,
that's
so
what.
please.
So we have the devices in place. So and probably we will have our new devices as well, which will be covering all these aspects. So yeah, anyone who has queries with regards to 4G devices, they can definitely write to me. I have seen the question and have seen the person as well. So definitely, I'm
Yeah,
going to give
excellent.
a call after this webinar and have a discussion with him. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
So let's go to Manuel. So basically the same question. You and I, we are based in Europe, and we don't have as much as regulations about 4G introduction here. So we also have it. But the thing is, we see a quite different situation between the regions, between the countries. So as I mentioned to you yesterday, we have a different situation in Eastern Europe, different in Western Europe. So what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, for Europe, more than a matter of regulation or the operators wanting to certify the device, I think that we're seeing that the device switch will be mandated basically by the support or the switch stuff of the networks. So what we're seeing already in Europe, in many countries, is that, for example, the 3G network will be switched off starting from next year, on 2022. Many countries in Europe will stop supporting the 3G network, but still will keep the 2G at least until 2025. So proportionally speaking, still most devices that are sold in Europe are still 2G. But then, of course, the network will make that there's a migration from now until 2025 from 2G to LTE devices. So, of course, like most countries will not pass at all through 3G devices and will switch directly from 2G to LTE. So, of course, if you're considering to switch devices already because you have on the scope the network change, we already have in place the LTE units that we started deploying originally because of supplying devices to the US, where LTE devices are used already from like 2 or 3 years ago, and they are already switching off the 3G network. They already switched off the 2G, so they only use LTE. So of course we started deploying. We were one of the first ones to start deploying LTE devices to the US, and then we pretty much brought these devices on a global scale and also use them for Europe. So yeah, we will see the switch in the next 3 years from 2G to LTE.
Okay, thanks. One more thing we can quickly run through it. It's we have questions about some devices being discontinued, and maybe we should clarify that a little bit, because in general we are talking about the same devices with different components because of the component issue thing. So basically the devices are staying the same. We are just adjusting some things so we can keep up with the production, with supply of the components and everything that is happening on the market. So in terms of features for these devices, they will stay the same, or maybe even better. So don't have any concerns about that. So let me check for some more interesting questions. Okay, one question for you, Abrar. We were mentioning customizations during the webinar, and I know that at the moment you have an interesting project in the Middle East. So maybe it would be interesting for our guests to hear how do we do customizations, how do we run that process inside our company, because we are mentioning customizations a lot, and I believe it's our thing. We like to customize, since more than 65% of our employees are R&D, so we are pretty strong on that. So can you share a little bit on that?
Yeah, sure. When it comes to customization, I believe that it's more of an mutual cooperation between us and the partners that we work with. So it's like a mutual work that we do when it comes to customization. Definitely, there are certain standard operating process, the procedures that we really follow, and there are certain MOQs that are in place. Now, but when it comes to customization, yes, definitely we are open for it, and be it like any software related customization or the hardware, we are doing that. In the Middle East, just to give you an example, as I mentioned about the weight sensor project, there was certain customization needed on the software part, that is the firmware part, and we did that as well. And when it comes to the hardware front, yes, we are tweaking our hardware to meet the requirements as such. So yeah, for customization, when we talk more about it's more about a mutual cooperation. So it's not that we just do the changes that is being requested by the customers, but we make sure that the real essence of the standard product is not missed out. So we just try to do the customization, do the test in-house, and then again work with the customer to do the on-field test and make sure that the solution is up and running, and then we go ahead for further deployment. So we make sure that we follow all these SOPs throughout the process. So I think that really answers your question.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
So I guess it's time to wrap things up. Again, I would like to thank everyone for joining us for this webinar. If you have any further questions, please, you can contact Manuel, Abrar, and myself. Also, an important thing from my side, I would really like to thank my fellow hosts for today, or panelists, Manuel and Abrar, and also a big thank you to our team from marketing and FAE who did support for this webinar. So stay with us, follow our LinkedIn page, our website, and look for the next webinars where we will share some new products, new features, and maybe some new scenarios for the telematics industry. So thanks everyone, and hope to see you soon.